Carpenter Brewing Company presents Brew Battles!
Brew Battles is a show where beers come to duke it out for the top spot in a specific category. A brew battle is a blind taste test between 5 different brews as rated by 10 different judges from all walks of life. These aren't certified judges with highly tuned palates. They're just regular people like you and me. To get an idea of their preferences, each beer judge has taken a Carpenter Brewing Company beer profile ahead of time. See links below to get your own beer profile. Then each judge will receive a flight of beers and he or she will rate each beer individually. At the end, we will take all the ratings and put them into our proprietary algorithm to determine which really is the top beer in this particular category. In this episode, we are battling Ace Fermented Apple Cider, Angry Orchard Hard Cider, Strongbow Hard Cider, Hornsby's Hard Crisp Cider, Woodchuck Hard Cider.
Let's introduce the judges. Let the battle begin.
Number 1, it's pretty dry. It has more of an alcohol flavor to it, like reminds me more on the beer side of ciders. Number 1, I feel is a lot more alcoholic, and it smells a lot more alcoholic. Like there isn't that like apple aroma.
This one doesn't seem very promising.
Number 1 is really good. 1 and 6, not a big fan of. 1 has a sour aftertaste to me.
I can definitely say I'm not a fan of 1.
Number 1 was my least favorite. It doesn't even taste like anything. It's like alcoholic water.
Number 1 seemed to do a really weird, like, rubbing alcohol aftertaste.
So far, I would say 2 and 5 are standing out to me the most. Generally in a cider, I want my cider to taste like apples and not beer. I'm not a beer drinker. And some of these taste too much like beer and not enough like apples. To me, the best apple hard cider is going to taste like the apple juice you drink and just have like a little bonus to it. You know what? I like that one because it's very sweet. It has just a tiny bit of kind of creaminess to it, and it doesn't really bite. You don't feel the carbonation quite as much. Whereas some of these are super sour. But number 5 really tastes probably the most like apple juice. Has a nice bite off the top. Definitely can taste the apple in it. It fades away. The aftertaste later on maybe has a little bit of a champagne taste to it, but it has a good flavor from the get-go. The next 2 I like are number 2 and number 5. They also have a nice crisp flavor, but they're not quite as appley. Number 5 actually I like the aroma, the flavor. It has a good feel in the mouth. It's not too heavy, it's not too bitter, it's not too sweet.
I think 2 and 5 are the same personally, just by like appearance and that flavor that you get.
Not too sweet, plenty of flavor, finished well.
So I think 2 and 5 are the same ones, and they were my favorites as well. I liked how sweet they were. I like that they almost have a little bit of a caramel flavor. I think that 2 and 5 were a little bit sweeter than number 3.
Number 2 and number 5 are both of my favorites. And I think they were sweet, but I don't think that they were too sweet. I feel like they had a nice rich flavor and had a nice aroma. Just all around they just had a nice finish, no weird aftertaste.
It's sweet, but it's not overly sweet, so you still kind of get that freshness, but it's not like almost too sweet where your teeth clench. So it's a nice refreshing drink. Nice bubble.
2 and 5 are my favorite.
2 and 5 are my favorite.
Number 2 and 5 are my favorite.
Number 2 and 5 are my favorite.
So far, I like 3 and 5. 3 is more of like, you can actually taste the apple. I mean, you know, like there's alcohol in it, but it has more of a sweeter kind of like an apple juice instead of more on the alcoholic side.
So far, I like the flavor and smell of 3 a lot. I like this one because on the smell, it smells sweeter than some of the other ones and actually tastes more like some really crisp apple cider that I've had before. Not hard cider, but non-alcoholic, apple cider.
I like 3 the best. It has a nice apple flavor to it. It's crisp.
It's refreshing, and it's something I could see myself relaxing and drinking in front of a fire.
So far, my favorite is 3.
Number 3 is my favorite.
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 The color though, color doesn't look very promising. It's kind of medicine-y. No, more like vitamin C.
I am leaning towards number 4. Kind of to me has a champagne-like flavor, and I do like champagne.
And I'm not a fan of 4.
It scores very similarly to 1, which I did not particularly care for.
I tend to be a wine drinker, so it's the most like in that category of alcoholic beverages.
Number 4, I thought had a wine or a champagne yeast type aftertaste to it, so I wasn't fond of that just because I don't like those. It's the second lightest. I didn't think it was great for color nor aroma, so yeah, I wasn't super thrilled with that one.
Number 4 is my favorite.
Not my favorite. I think it lacks flavor, and it seems more acidic than full. Like it seems very shallow.
Number 6 is more dry than the other ones, and it doesn't have that sweetness to it. So if you are trying to transition to more of a beer flavor, because I know some people drink cider first and then move to beer, that might make a good transitional cider, but it's not one of my favorites. I prefer more sweetness to it.
6, it's not bad. I just don't really like the aftertaste that it leaves in your mouth. I feel like it's really bitter.
Number 6 was my least favorite. It seemed to lack any kind of flavor at all.
Each beer is rated for aroma, appearance, and taste, with taste being the predominant factor. You may have noticed that each person received 6 beer samples in their platter when only 5 beers are competing. The 6th beer is a repeat. If a beer judge rates the same beer completely different, then his or her opinion is discounted in the final results tally because their tastes are inconsistent. The results of the brew battle are as follows.
In this battle, we had Woodchuck coming in 5th place with a score of 19, followed by Strongbow in 4th place with a score of 23. 3rd place was Ace with a score of 24. 2nd place was Angry Orchard with a score of 37. And the winner of this brew battle was Hornsby's with a final score of 38. Congratulations to Hornsby's for having the brew battle's best hard apple cider.
If you like this video, subscribe below. Give us comments on beers that you'd like to see in a future episode of Brew Battles. Check out some of our other Brew Battle episodes. Follow us on Facebook. Look up Carpenter Brewing Company. Also, check out our website, carpenterbrewingcompany.com.